Hello. In the last video we got to the stage of here. We've got our text, we've added the shade, and we're about to add a quick little stroke colour in there as well. But actually, before we do... we'll add a bit of stroke in there. So I'm going to double click on my effects, my 3D Wiki layer that I created before in the last video. And it might be lagging a bit because... there we go. Oh, there it is. And we're going to add a stroke colour. So down at the bottom we've got stroke. If I click on the stroke settings, you can see that the colour is set to black. I don't want that. So I'm going to double click and set it to white. And I'm also going to set the size of it to 2, so a bit thinner. Set the position of it to inside. Leave it on normal on 100, and that's it. Click OK, and you'll see we've got this weird stroke going around our text. Now, what we can do next, now this is a nice little trick I've done. I'm going to insert a new layer. And click on 3D Wiki, then hold Shift and Layer 2. Now what we're going to do, we're going to merge these two layers together, and it's going to take these effects and merge it into the layer. So it's just a layer, the settings will no longer be there. Again, if you want to make a duplicate of this to edit later, I would duplicate it, okay, and then send the copy into the text layer in there where it's already invisible, so we can't see it, hopefully. Yep, it's invisible because the entire folder is invisible. That way, when you're creating your document, you're making it a non-destructive thing so you can edit later if you're not happy. So again, I'm going to select these layers, I'm going to right click, just move it over here so you can see it, merge layers. And you can see it's turned into layer 2, so I'm just going to double click. No, I don't want that. I want to be able to change the font. There you go. 3D Wiki. So there we are. So that's just one object, we can see the darker lines there. And now we're going to use the... so what tool are we going to use? We're going to use the burn tool just to, like over here in the K bit here, I want to make that a bit darker. So I'm going to zoom right into that. And holding down my space bar, I can actually click and drag and reposition this. And to bring in the burn tool, I'm just going to... where are we here? There we go, it's this weird hand shape, so I'm just going to click and hold. You've got dodge, which we're going to use later, spun and sponge. So with the burn tool, I can make it a bit bigger. And where are we? Ooh. Just move it down, just make it nice. No, that's too big. Still too big. That's okay. Another thing you could do is hold B down. I think it's easy to just scale the size down to how you want it to be. So you can see this burn tool, I'm kind of making it a bit darker here and just blending it in a bit. So I'm quite happy with that. It's kind of neat. Maybe reduce the file size a bit more and just put it in there. Yes. There we go. That's kind of the work I'm going for there. So just going to move this around a bit, maybe emphasize the edge here a bit. what I'm doing, I'm holding shift so I'm making a straight line. That's my little trick there. And maybe with the C, I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to, oop. Increase the brush size a bit. There we go, I'm quite happy with that. Maybe yeah, that's kind of quite happy with that, and probably going to use it. Ooh. Maybe turn the exposure down a bit, just so it's a bit softer. So my Photoshop's lagging a bit here, so that's why I'm having a bit of difficulty. So we also have a dog barking in the background there. There you go, I'll just do it like that, just do it quick. There you go, that'll do for now. So if we zoom out, it really looks a bit more different. It makes the shapes look that much more solid. Maybe I can add. Now next, we're going to be creating a bit of a highlight using the dodge tool. So I'm going to click and hold on the burn tool and switch it to the dodge tool. I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight. So maybe actually I'm going to reduce the size of my brush a fair bit. Maybe one there. Now I'm using Control Z to undo that, so I'm just adding a few. No, you don't want too many. That's enough. That just gets the emphasis of a shine here and there. There we go, that's a bit better. So I'm quite happy with that. That adds a bit of shine to it, makes it stand out a bit more. So finally, we're going to tackle the text, the yellow text on top. Just change that slightly. And to do that, we're going to do similar to what we've done before. We're going to add an overlay. I'm just going to sort the colors out a bit. So I'm going to double click on my Viki layer. Well, whatever you've called yourself, you can use your name, or you can use a keyword or a username. If the blending options don't come up, you can always right click and go to blending options. I think it's not coming up for me because I'm recording, but if you double click it should come up for you. Just mine's being a bit slow at the moment. So I'm going to go on Grayness Overlay, and what we're going to do, we're going to set to 0 the angle, and linear, normal, 100%, scale 100%. That's all okay. Just got to change the colors here. And what we're going to do, the colors, we're going to change this one to 0, C for cat, 3, 5, oh, sorry, 3, 5, 4, 5. Click OK. And our other color is going to be 5, C for cat, B for blue or B for black, F for fish, A for apple, and D for duck. Click OK. And the other color I want, going to be 3 colors here, is going to be 2, 3, 6, 4, 6, C for cat. Click OK. And those are the colours we're going to need. Don't need the white there. I'm going to take that off. I'm just going to click OK and just move this to the side over here, just so I can move this there and just play around with the settings enough until I'm happy with the colour. So, as I say, I'm going to mess around with this a bit now just to get it just right. So maybe... yeah, it looks kind of nice. Yeah, it looks kind of cool though, that little bit of light in the middle there. Should I move that out a bit? That kind of works for me really. I like that look. Yeah, that really works. So I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to add a stroke color again, just like we did before. I'm going to set it to white. Make sure it's on the inside and make sure it's set to 2. And click OK. Now another thing we're going to do as well, we are going to add a couple of lines because we're missing some lines here, here, couple there, and one on the Y there. So we're going to be doing is using the line tool. So I'm going to click and hold on the shape, and we've got this line tool here. I'm going to zoom in a bit. And holding down my spacebar, I can easily drag and navigate to where I want to be. Make sure that my color is set to white, and the weight of my line is at 2, just like the others. So it's line, weight 2, color. Just going to click. I'm going to hold shift to make sure it stays in line like so. Oh dear, it's got that gradient on it, so I'm going to right click on the shape. Oh, don't know if you can see. Going to see what happens if I... Usually on layers, like, there we go. If we've got this layer, we can clear layer style. So I'm going to do that with this shape, but unfortunately it's going off screen so you can't see it. So it's clear layer style, and we get rid of that. And I can move the navigator and draw in. And as you can see, it's doing it again, which is really annoying. I don't want the layer style. So it might be something you have to do every time, but it's not so bad. Ah, there you go, that one's doing the job. Now because I'm holding shift, I believe it's adding to my existing one at the moment. I'm just going to use the arrow tool, use the arrow keys, just move this one in particular. Yeah, that's fine. And finally, now see, I've got a couple of layers here of my lines, so I'm actually going to, if my computer will react, as I say, it's having a bit of a hissy fit, just merge these lines together, merge layers. Just call this lines. And there you go, you've got basic shape of your 3D text. Now we're going to go a step further, and we're going to start adding a bit of a ribbon that kind of drips and drabs and loops its way over the text. So you can have a bit of fun with this, and it's also a good intro to using the pen tool. So I'm going to just muck around with this a bit. I'm going to highlight. Oh, actually we want the pen tool there. Now the way you want to set it up is that you want it to draw a shape. So I'm just going to draw, so you start creating your shape and it draws it in like so. You go back to the oval, there's your shape. We don't want that. And plus I'm going to set the color to black in there. So I've just clicked on color there, set to black. So that's the pen tool. I'm just going to show you a few tricks of the pen tool that you're going to find really useful. Now the way I'm planning this, now I'm going to pick up a ribbon, just going there and kind of, let's see, so going over the V, maybe drifting off to there and then just coming out to there. So I'm going to set this area as my line point. I'm going to zoom in and just focus on the V and the I. Actually, it's going to disappear behind, I think, the C here. So I'm just going to click once to make a point, and click quite close to it, another one. And now here I'm going to click, hold and drag, and you can see it kind of creates this kind of bar thing. I tilt it to get this line the way I like it, so quite happy with that. And I think I'll plop one down here. If you're not happy with it, you can always click, use it holding it down on Alt, now I think it's just acting up a bit here because of my tools. So I'm just gonna unfortunately Photoshop is acting up quite a bit because of my tool settings, so I'm just going to redo that again. So I'll just replop it. Yeah, that's a bit better. Actually, I'll move this down a bit more so it's got a bit more of a oomph to it. I'm just mucking around this, just getting my ribbon is a bit fat there, so just gonna... Oh yeah, if you want to go back in history, it's Control Alt and... I think, is it Control Alt and Z, is it? Yeah, it's Control Alt and Z. Sorry, it's a tool that I've been using automatically for a long time, so I am fairly used to it. Just gonna muck around, just try and follow the shape of what you want it to look like. Then when you get to the end here, click and drag just to get that ending there. And the lovely curviness of it gives it that kind of organic feel, so it feels more like a ribbon there. I'm quite happy with that. So we've got a nice little shape there. And what I'm going to do, just like we did before, we're going to add sort of a greeny colour to this. So I'm going to right click on this layer, go to blending options, so just move over here so I can... Ooh. No, that's not what I want. Blending options. I'm going to add a gradient. Oop, no, gradient overlay, sorry. As a colour overlay. Well, gradient overlay, and set this to 0 like we did before. And this time the colours, the colours we are going to use are just two of them at the moment. It's going to be C for cat, E for elephant, 2 F's for fish, A for apple, and 3. So it's got this weird bright greeny colour there, kind of minty colour. And the other colour we're going to use is D for Derek, 7, F for fish, D, B, and F. Is that right? No, that's not the right colour. Okay, let's try number 1. That's 3, 4, 8, 9, 4, D. There we go. That's the colour I wanted. It's kind of darky colour here. So I'm going to muck around with these a little bit and just position them like I did before. Just going to move that down there. And just move these around a bit so I just get the colours and basically the general look that I'm going for. So maybe a bit of softness. Take out that white as well at the end. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's got a nice shape to it there, a bit of a shine. And maybe I'll add a third colour, that lighter shade, almost white. So I'm going to add that third colour, which was that B7 FD BF. a bit of a light colour there to add as a bit of a shine. There we go. Quite happy with that. And what you're going to do, you're going to carry on, do exactly the same thing, create another ribbon, so you've got kind of a ribbon flowing around all these different shapes. So we're going to do the same thing again, get the pen tool, which we already got. And I'm thinking that this ribbon could come out down here a bit, so I'm just going to zoom in again. It's going to come out down here, maybe slip to this side of the Y there. You see it's kind of forming that weird shape there. Just play around with these enough. Oh, that's good. I like that. That's kind of, that looks more ribbony. So with this, I'm gonna, because it's sort of copying the layer effect, I can go to Grain Overlay and just have a muck around with this like we did before. If you do find that you want to copy your Grain Overlay, you can always right click and copy layer style. That will copy it, and then you can right click and paste it in there. But mine's already pasting automatically. Hopefully yours is doing the same. If not, there's the method of pasting it in there. Oh, click OK. Just move this out of the way and just tweak this. There you go. That's got a kind of cool effect. It looks very ribbony there. And finally, we're just going to add the final one, which I'm thinking is a bit of ribbon coming out. Let's think. The bottom here and escaping, going around into the Y. So maybe not quite there. Not quite the look I was going for, so I'm just going to redo that again. Probably easy if I start from the top down to the bottom. I'm sorry, maybe you might be hearing them getting pinged on my Skype, but never mind. Try to give it a nice curve here, and it always takes a few attempts, and also helps if my computer doesn't mess up. So yeah, you notice I'm going quiet here. It's that concentration where you just... Yeah, that'll do. That's set aside, that'll do for now, because I'm not spending too much time on this. So again, I'm going to have a little muck around with the overlay. And just tweak this up enough so we've got a nice colour. So yeah, that kind of looks good. I like that. Okay, so let's look at the overall ribbon. That's not too bad actually. I'm quite pleased like how it kind of weaves in and out. Probably done a lot more of like dripping it bits here and there, maybe coming out to the K down here a bit, but you know, that's something you can easily play around with. For what it is, it does a good job. Okay, we're going to leave it here for now. And in the next video we're just going to be adding a nice little shadow to our weavy line. We're going to be adding a little bit of curly detail on top of the Vicky there on the front side, and create a little bit of smoke, and then just some nice shapes on the side just to maybe emphasize. I'm not deciding the shapes yet. Don't know if I really want them, but yep, we've got just a couple more finishing touches to this, and then we'll have the full complete shape done.